I'm going to use the Mini Morph palette, the 12p palette. It's quite colourful and it's quite cheap as well. So I hate using like really expensive palettes and stuff because obviously not everyone can afford them. So I'm not sure what I'm going to go for. I'm just going to wing this and yeah, teach you the basics of blending, how I blend, technique, all that kind of thing, and we'll see what we end up with. Could be disaster, could be great. So I'm going to go in with the Inglot 49SS brush. It's a little bullet brush like this. It's so soft and it's so great. And I'm going to go in with the black, tiny bit of black, and then I'm going to start just in the soft part of my eye, dabbing it kind of on because I don't want to drag it because the concealer's not set, so I don't want to upset that lovely smooth thing we've got going on there. Once you've kind of dabbed the first bit on, it's nice and light, right into your socket, the soft part, then you can kind of start dragging it a little bit. Really light motions. Try keep it like, my brow bone starts here, so try keep it below that, below your brow bone, so you can control where the colour's going, so it doesn't get away from you. I'm holding the brush by the end of the brush because I feel like it's easier. You move the brush a little bit and it moves more rather than holding it up here like this and trying to feel like you can see all the lines and stuff you do. It's easier to blend and blur things when you hold it by the end of the brush. And then I'm just bringing that around. I'm not bringing it out past. It's still kind of the soft bit in here that I'm bringing it to. And then obviously when I press on the soft bit, it goes, drags in a little bit, and then it obviously prints to where the brush is then. So yeah, it's kind of making a marker for me, so I'm not actually touching, I'm not starting on my brow bone, I'm just bringing in the soft bit and like pressing kind of lightly. Okay. Okay, this little brush is a Eco Tools brush. I got this in a set in Boots. I think it was like €13 for the set. It's quite a good set, and this brush is tiny, so it's so great for being careful and stuff. So we'll go with like a bluey purpley kind of a vibey wibey, will we? Okay, so yeah, put a tiny bit of purple on this, and just like in my last videos, you put it on the edge, like almost on top of where the edge of the black stopped, and just back and forth, really light, slow motions. If you do this too fast, a lot of people when they're blending, they get like a big fluffy brush and they kind of do this big circular kind of a whoosh, and they think that that's blending it more when really it's really not. So yeah, just like you're trying to smudge that edge, like if you've done art in school or whatever, like you're trying to generally get the charcoal or whatever with your finger and you smudge it to like make it blurry or whatever. We're doing this with the brush basically, just as if we're smudging out the edge of that black, except we are using purple, a little bit at a time as well. Again, I'm holding the brush by the end rather than close to the top. See that once the edge of the black is kind of not there anymore, kind of, you know, it just kind of fades into the purple, then you're doing a good job. It doesn't really matter if the edge of the purple is blended yet, because the next color is what we're going to use to blend that. So right now we're focusing on just blending the edge of the black, so now it just looks like black going into purple. It doesn't look like black and then beside it is purple, if you get me. So that's grand. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the same brush. I always just have like an old towel or a rag with me, so I can wipe the brush off in it. So what we put after the purple, go with like yellow, will I? I don't know, pink, yellow, both. Sure, we'll see what the pink looks like. So I'm using that same brush, same technique. Way really light, kind of on top of it. Doesn't matter if they kind of mix together at this point, because we're going to go back in with them all anyway. That's something that I find a lot of videos don't show you. They kind of just go through the first bit and then they don't go back and show you that you actually have to go and do it all again in order to get that real defined blend, etc, etc. especially when you first touch the brush off the pan, be careful when you're going in then that you go extra light, because otherwise you'll get a big dark patch and it's kind of hard to blend out then, especially if it's straight onto concealer. So you can see the purple and the pink kind of mixed together, which necessarily is not really a bad thing because it kind of just looks like blended colours. This brush is a blank canvas E10 brush. I got it on Cloud 10. I think there's lots of movement and stuff. It's quite filthy, but again, I've wiped it off on my wrist, so there's no colours on it. But yeah, this is great for blending the very edge because there's so much more movement in it, so it's hard to like give harsh lines. So I'm just dabbing like little dab onto the pan. And then I'm gonna just write really lightly, like same technique, like I'm trying to rub out the edge of that pink. And like this takes time as well, like don't go crazy rushing, otherwise it's not gonna go the way you want it. Just barely tickling my face with this. As you can see, the brush isn't even bent. It's not bending against my skin, it's just straight. And I find at this last step as well, because if you stare at makeup for too long with your eyes when you're blending it or anything, if you stare at it for too long, it starts to look funny or different or whatever. So I'll go a little bit and then I'll kind of look back and be like, give myself a minute, because if you go too much and the last colour and it's too harsh, then it doesn't really look like real blended and smooth and soft. It looks kind of heavy, and you don't want the heavy colour on the edge, even if it is a light colour. So I think I can go like a little bit more of that yellowy colour there. Again, teeny tiny little bits, building it up. Right around into the corner of my eye. You can do roundy little motions. You can do kind of just back and forward. Everyone has a preference. Everyone says in videos, oh, don't do back and forward or don't do circles or whatever, but I really don't think it matters. Whatever works for you. I can do back and forward like that, like I'm rubbing it out, or I can go in little circles like that and it's still kind of the same. Right, so I'm gonna go back with my Eco Tools brush. It's a little small one, and I'm gonna go back in with the purple, and I'm gonna just put the purple over where I had it the last time. You can kind of see it a little bit there, like so, as if on the edge of the black. I'm trying to rub it out, even though it's not real defined, just back in there where the purple was. So we're darkening them up, making them more vibrant. Wipe that off in my towel. Go with the pink. And then again, with my blank canvas brush. I'm not gonna actually put anything on this time because I don't want the yellow too yellow, I suppose. And I'm just gonna kind of blend on top of where the pink and the yellow meet. And then this is another thing, get like a fluffy brush. This is where your fluffy brush comes in. This is what a lot of people use for the whole thing, the whole eye look, which I think is silly, but at the end to get the yellow kind of into the concealer so it's not blocky. Just give it a little bit of a dust into the concealer so it's nice and soft. Right, I'm gonna get that bullet brush and go back in with my black as well because I'm thinking it could be blacker, and I'm gonna cut my crease as well. So I think colours, especially like this, I think the darker the colour is against where you're cutting your crease, the more defined and pretty it is. So and then bring it down around here into the outer little corner of my eye. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with the rest of my eye, so gonna drag it too far. Okay, let's get this fluffy brush and kind of just the edge of the colour. Give it a bit of a blend in, so in case it still looks blocky when I cut my crease, and then it'll be harder to blend, so just give it a bit of a blend out. Really, really, really slow and light. I feel like people go in way too hard and fast, like hard and fast, lol, when they're trying to do an eye look, and it just ends up horrible. Some people use the pointy Q-tips, but I've got these eye catchers. You can get them in most chemists, and you just click them and all the stuff drains out and it gets all the stuff inside of it down onto the Q-tip. And I kind of cut my crease first with that, especially if you're using black, because if you try cut your crease, if you want a nice white or light colour underneath your crease and you try and cut it with concealer, then the concealer's going to go black or pink or whatever colour you have beside it. So, and then it like does your head in. So just gonna like cut that. Obviously you're taking the concealer away, but it doesn't matter because you're gonna have to go back in and put the concealer back anyway. And as well, sometimes I find these eye catcher things a little bit too watery, so I have normal Q-tips with nothing in them, and then I'll go when my eye is like a bit, if there's too much, I don't know what's in the inside of it, if there's too much product on the inside of it, I'll just go, if there's too much product on the inside of it, if there's too much product on my eyelid, I'll just go in and wipe it off with a Q-tip that has nothing on it. And then when that's all gone, go back again with the eye catcher one, and you can like lift your eye up so that you can lean on your brow bone, move your skin to where your brow bone is, and it's much easier rather than trying to do it on the soft bit of your eye. And always leave it a slight bit lower than where you're going to cut your crease, because the concealer can do the rest of that for you. Because if you go too high, it's not a fun time. Swapping back to the other one. Ooh, I think I went a little bit too high there, did I? Might get away with it. Shit. Take your time at this part, because it's very stressful. Yeah, and then I'm gonna be probably blending black back in on this side, so I don't have to cut it the whole way across. But yeah, better to cut more than you need than less, because you can fill it back in a minute. But you can't go back and take more out of it. Well, you could, but then you'd be just wasting your time. God, I do wonder if half the shit I say on this makes any sense at all. It's like, it makes total sense to me. But I'm wondering, like, is everyone like, what the is she talking about? La da da. Oh, shut up. Ooh, that's actually quite a clean cut for a Q-tip that's not even pointy. You go, girl. Isn't it? Okay. Blendy blend a little bit here. Right, now I'm gonna cut my crease. So I'm going back in with NARS Creamy Concealer, and I'm just gonna go over where I took all that away. And I find, yeah, it's easier then to cut your crease. I'm just gonna go slightly past where I did it with the Q-tip. Like, really take your time. I can't even speak when I'm doing this because I need all my concentration going to one thing. I can't concentrate on speaking and doing this at the same time, or I will mess it up. Oh yeah, also I'm doing like a pat and a little drag. I'm not like dragging it all along in a line because I think that's impossible. Like, this brush is like kind of a curved, so it's giving me the curve that I need to go along the crease. So I think like a pat and kind of a stamp kind of a an approach is better. Is that straight? I think it is. I think it looks straight, but like when I relax my eye, I don't think it looks as straight as it does when it's stretched. You know what? I'm gonna take it up a bit higher because I feel like when my eye is like relaxed and I'm like talking to somebody, you can't see that crispy line, and I didn't put all this effort in for you to not see my crispy line. I ruined, did I? Is it ruined? Oh my god, I'm ruining it. Give me a minute, I'm gonna go like on top of the mirror like I usually do and try and fucking fix this. Okay, back in with the Inglot bullet brush that we started out with, and I'm gonna just fill in this a little bit here, like so, with a dabbing motion. Why am I talking like that? Yeah, so once I have that done, I'm gonna go back with the little small Eco Tools brush and go through the colours that I went through on the way up. So starting out with the purple, and I'm gonna go and dab it along that line. Giving it a smudge. Wiping it off on my towel, and then into pink. Same again, kind of keeping it a little bit more so on top of the purple because we don't want these to like take over the lid. And also, I usually do this kind of thing with a flat packing brush, but I just don't think that that's the best thing to use here. So I'm gonna, when I'm getting up closer to the line where I've got my crease, kind of do the pulley thing again and try my best not to smudge the line, keep it as crisp as I can. So I find if you put more product on the brush, it's easier to get in there. Okay, and this time I'm using the same brush again for the yellow. And same idea along the edge of the pink. Packing it on and then not going quite up to the crease, and then taking a good bit on the brush. Lift that up out of the way, stretch it all out, and then you can go as close to the line as you can. Flat packing brush for the white so that you can get in along the cut crease nice and neatly without ruining your eye. If it goes past your cut crease, leave it for the time being. Why do I keep pronouncing my T's like t? Shut the fuck up, Marcy. I think it's like a nerves thing. I don't know. And then get a fluffy brush with nothing on it. Oh, there's something on that. Wow. Okay, so fluffy brush with nothing on it. And just, I mean, like, really lightly just kind of take off the white that was, the few specks that were sitting on top of my purple. Ooh, yeah. Right. A little bit more, just because the more you put on, the more it pops. And I love a pop in white. Do you know what I think will make this? You don't have to do this now because it might be too difficult for some people, because it's nearly too difficult for me, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna get the Stila glitter. If you haven't heard of Stila yet, then you need a reality check and go get some help. And then this teeny tiny little arts brush, and I'm just gonna make a glitter line here. Make this pop. Please don't ruin this. If I said take your time earlier on, now I mean it even more. And you're not allowed to breathe for this part either, because breathing means movement and movement means mistakes. I can see it in the mirror, but I can't see it on the camera, so I don't know what's going on. I don't want to ruin it for the sake of the camera. At the end of every stroke I do, I kind of like, as the stroke's ended, I'm lifting it away from my face, because I feel like when you stop, your hand does a little wobble, and that's when mistakes are made. See what I mean by that Stila, by the way? Oh yeah. I'd say aliens can see that. If they arrive soon, it's because of Stila. Now, I'm going to do underneath my eyes. And don't forget to tap off your brush, because if you get fallout now that your foundation's done, it's a sad time. The pinky colour, a little bit lower, back up around. And for the yellow, I'm using the fluffy blank canvas brush that I used for it before, and I'm just going to kind of blend them together here. Back up around to where the yellow is on the outside. I don't know if you can see that. Actually, let me zoom you in. So yeah, meeting the yellow where it stopped up here. My highlighter is, wow. Oh my god. I used the Vermeer colour out of the Modern Renaissance palette, the Anastasia Beverly Hills one. It's an eyeshadow like, but please. I think I was a magpie in my previous life. And nice and blended. Voila, here I am. I hope you liked this video. I was trying to do something different, because I know I was looking online last night and I was looking up how to do blending and stuff like that, and it's all very boring. I think maybe I just couldn't find videos, like, no diss to anybody out there that's actually really good or whatever, but I just found it was all kind of the standard kind of old-fashioned way of doing it. Maybe the ones that I want to look at don't have enough views to be up high enough or whatever. Like this one's not going to have enough views, but hopefully people who like this kind of thing will see it. Yeah, I think this is like the new kind of way of blending. Like all the kind of Mitchell P. Louise kind of Kaylee vibes, all that kind of thing. I didn't see any tutorials for anything like that, and I love that makeup. And even though I already know how to do a lot of it, I still just love watching the tutorials. I just love watching people blend, and it's like therapeutical or something, and I'll still always watch it. So, and I love making the videos as well. So I'm gonna keep on doing it. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and toodle pip, I suppose. Bye.